Hey guys, it's Angie, also known as The Light. Welcome to my channel. Like, subscribe, and if you'd like to make a donation to me, my PayPal and Cash App information will be in the description box and in the comment section. Thank you to those who have been donating to my channel. If you want me to continue my channel, please make a donation to me. No donation is too small or too large. So today's video is going to be about if you should contact the narcissist new supply. This came from somebody who donated to my channel, and I'm doing their topic as a thank you to them. So when you donate to my channel, I will email you. Now the email will be attached to whatever account you're sending the donation from. So usually if I look at the PayPal account, I'll see the person's email. Now somebody donated to me by the name of Amor. Your email address was not there, and I can't email you. So please, Amor, if you watch this video, please write your email address in the comment section. Place your name next to it so I can contact you, so I can personally thank you and ask you if you have a topic. All right. So here we go. This came from a donation as well, this question. So, should you notify the new supply? I don't know why I'm so tongue-tied today. Should you notify the new supply about your ex-narc, whether it's a friend or a family member or a lover? Okay, most of the time it's usually the exes that want to notify the new supply about their ex-narc. I've watched other videos, I've talked to other people who have experienced this, and they usually say no. Don't waste your time, don't put your energy in it, don't get involved in explaining to anyone that your ex or your ex-friend or your relative is a narc. Think about the sneeze. Okay, so I don't think I've ever contacted any of like my ex narc family or friends or their new supply, their new lover. I've never done that. I basically, once the narc was like done with me, that was it. I was done with them. I removed myself emotionally as much as I could from the situation. I moved on. I really didn't hear too much afterwards of anything that happened to other narcs. I did watch things go down when it came to like friends and things like that, but I've never actually contacted any of the new supply. And it's so funny because a couple of weeks ago I was in like a setting where there was a narc there, a guy, and this narc guy tried to get with me at one point, and I saw a girl that I'm cool with. We're associates. I saw her flirting with the narc. Like, he's in her face, she's in his face. And I did think to myself, I was like, dang, should I tell her? Like, he's a narc. Should I say something? I didn't. I don't know why I didn't get involved. It's not that I felt she wasn't, good enough or qualified for me to even want to try to help her or save her. It's not that I'm not a good associate or I'm not a good friend. I think the reason why I didn't is because when you're going to warn somebody about something, you need to have like grounds for that. You need to have concrete evidence and information instead of just your word. Okay, I felt as if I would have went to the girl and said to her, you know what, girl, he tried to get with me, he's no good, he's this, he's that. I felt like I would have been looking like a jealous person or a hater. And I think that's the reason why I didn't do it. It was like, I'm not going to get involved. Hopefully this girl is smart and she sees through his players' ways. You know, I just felt like I didn't want to get involved because honestly, I wasn't about to like show her text messages or, you know, tell her like what happened, you know, between this guy and I, or, you know, tell her what his family even said to me. So I just didn't want to get involved with that. So hopefully, you know, nothing does transpire between the narc and this nice girl. I guess I'll just have to pray for her or whatever, because I really don't want to put my business out there or you know, get too involved in it and looking like I'm a jealous girl or I'm a hater. Okay, I think maybe if she comes to me, if she herself comes to me and says, you know, this guy, you know, this happened, XYZ, do you know anything about him? Then maybe I will open up. But I don't think personally I'm just going to just go up to her and be like, girl, he's a player, leave him alone, da 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 da. I know some of y'all probably like, well, that's not good girl code. Hey, that's my decision and it's okay. Do not feel bad if you make a decision not to warn, you know, your ex or your family member narc, you know, new supply about who they are. Okay, a lot of times when the narc like is grooming their new supply, they've already probably bad talked you and your character to the new supply. Um, as I stated in another video about how the narc puts up this false persona and this false value of who they are, they've already given their new supply, their family, their friends, or whoever, these horrific stories about you and who you are. So just know that when you're going to the new supply, chances are they've heard horrible, made up stories about you already. Okay, things that are probably true and things that are, you know, fabricated, exaggerated about the relationships they have with you. Normally, when I meet a narc, all their exes were bitches and, you know, horrible men, deadbeats, and all this stuff. Like, every relationship they ever had or friendship they had, this person was bad. It was nothing they did wrong. So you got to understand, when the new supply is in that honeymoon phase, they're being groomed. They've heard all these stories. So you're the bad guy. So if you want to take that risk and you want to go to the new supply and say, look, this is what happened, this is what my ex did to me, okay, cool. But if you're gonna do it, please have some type of concrete evidence to back up just your word. Your word is not going to be just good enough, because they can come back and say, well, he said this about you and you're telling me this, or she said this about you but you're telling me that. How do I know if you're telling me the truth? Please have some receipts. I'm talking like police reports, emails from the narc, text messages, things like that, to, you know, physical evidence that you can piece together. And even sometimes that's not going to be enough, because some people are so blinded by the narc that they are going to believe like the persona that the narc is putting on. They can probably say, you know what, maybe that did happen between you, but maybe you brung out the bad, you brung out the worst in the narc, and they love me and they're with me because I bring out the good in them. So this is what can happen. So just know, there's no right or wrong answer. I'm just telling you what is most likely going to happen if you do decide to do that. Like, I mean, if I had like an ex-narc who was like a abuser, meaning like a physical abuser, or like a murderer or something like that, I think I would try to warn this new woman that's coming into their life. But know that when you involve yourself, you're getting yourself involved again in the narc's life. So prepare for drama because you spoke up. I'm not trying to like scare you. I'm just saying, whether you tell them or not, there will be consequences. If you tell them, there will be consequences because you involved yourself in the narc's life. You gave that flag, that red flag, to their new supply. So they can retaliate on you, all right? Not just the new supply. That's why I see videos and people are like, how they hate the new supply. Okay, yes, you can be upset about what they're doing, but just as the narc brainwashed you and groomed you, that's what the narc did to them. So how can you be upset with them? You know, maybe later on they'll finally get it once the abuse is done. They could probably come to you and apologize later on, but you know, you can't get upset that they are believing what this demon has told them. The demon has groomed them to believe these things. I once had my ex-narc best friend who was gay, and you know, he was doing these young men wrong. And I had one of his lovers contact me and was just like, oh, you know, he won't speak to me. I don't know what to do. Can you please help me? And honestly, at that time, I was trying to figure out what the hell was wrong with my best friend myself. I did not know what to say to this individual. And me being a spiritual person, I said to, you know, his lover, I was just like, listen, I don't know what to tell you at this point. You need to pray. And the guy said to me, he was just like, oh, you know what? I can't believe that you would tell me to pray. Like, he was right. You're nothing but a Jesus lover, and all you talk about is God and church. And I was just like, wow. So right there, that showed you that the entire time the narc is talking shit about you to their new supply. Okay? So and then later on, the narc, you know, best friend, you know, after he broke off with this guy, he came and told me, oh, I was trying to replace you, you know, with him, and it didn't work. You know, I did not know what the hell was really going on, and he literally, like, I was his highest supply, so he was really literally trying to replace me, but he couldn't. He could never replace me. So every time he tried and he disappeared for a couple of weeks, or the longest he's ever disappeared was like, I don't know, like a couple of months or so, maybe like 3 or 4 months. And every time he'll return after those weeks or those months and, you know, try to hoover me back in or whatever the case is. So this is what they're going to do. So long story short, I personally wouldn't warn new supply if the narc isn't like violent or something like that. And that's saying that this emotional abuse, this mental abuse is major, but they've already groomed them most likely, so they're probably not going to believe you. It's really funny how there was a narc guy who was trying to get with me, and his family actually came and told me. They were like, watch out. They didn't give no details, but they said, be careful with him. Watch out for him. You're better than him. Run. Get away. Be careful. Be careful. That's all they said to me. And I always kept that in the back of my mind. But that's the kind of person I am. Most people are not like that. A lot of people, especially if they have low self-esteem, which usually the supply that narcs choose, are people who have had traumatic, you know, childhoods, and who are insecure, you know, desperate for love, kind of blinded that there are bad people in the world. they don't see it coming, but me, I actually listened and I actually got away from that guy. I kept that in mind. I watched his behavior, but that's just because that's a mindset that I'm in now. Maybe years ago, I would have been like, why would they say that? And just kept dating the guy, seeing the guy, whatever. So yeah, if you want to do that, but you have to remember, you're not going to be able to save everybody. The narc is like a mental and physical whore. They're talking to numerous people at a time, so you're not going to be able to save everyone. So you can try and contact these people if you want to, but just know that there is a price to pay. You're going to look crazy. You're going to look like that crazy ex or that crazy best friend that can't get over them, a crazy family member. Just know that it comes with a price, okay? I'm sure there's many great stories out there where somebody did warn the new supply and they saved their life. They saved them a lot of heartache, a lot of money, a lot of time wasted. So I don't want to personally tell you don't do something. I'm just saying, know that it's going to come with retaliation if the narc does find out that you're going around warning people. Know that people may not believe you, and that this is going to also take energy from yourself doing this. And if you're spending a lot of energy warning other people about this narc, how are you healing? How are you moving on? If you're taking time out of your healing and moving on from this particular individual, and you're basically like, you're saving people. You put on your your cape, and you're saving people. So, yeah, I wouldn't personally do it unless I feel like the narc was really, really violent, and I don't want to see someone getting beat up or something like that. But sometimes people do have to kind of learn their lesson, kind of like we learned our lesson. So it doesn't make you a bad person if you decide not to warn them, and it doesn't automatically make you a good person either, because a lot of times some people just want to warn the other supply because they don't want to see the narc with someone else. They don't want to see the narc be happy. They're never happy because the narc is only using people, okay? So that's not real love. It's an illusion that they portray to get what they want from the person. The narc does not love. So, think and talk to yourself and ask yourself, why do you want to tell the new supply this to begin with? Is it because you really want to help people, or is it because you yourself cannot get over that you were abused by this particular individual? You don't want to see them use anyone else, and that's why you're doing it. So just know that it does take energy to do this. And you're not going to be able to save everyone, because as soon as you tell the new supply, the narc is going and talking to someone else on social media, texting someone, meeting someone in a bar or at church or wherever. There's this world full of people, so you're not going to be able to save everybody. I remember when my narc stepfather married his mistress. My mom and him were married for 12 years, and he had this mistress for 7 years who he met at work. He was a correction officer. He got injured on his job, so they ended up giving him a desk job. So this is where he met this cop woman, whatever the hell she was. So while he's doing desk work, he meets this cop woman, and then she ends up getting injured herself, and they just had a lot of extra time on their hands to have a rendezvous, and it grew into a long-term, affair, pretty much. And You know, I remember when the mistress started to call the house and leave messages. She started to harass my mother. And I guess she just got tired of being the mistress. She really, really wanted my narc stepfather. The narc stepfather was not going to divorce my mom at all. He denied her. He was like, I don't know who this woman is calling the house. I remember he took me and my stepsister like to the side and had a conversation with us. Like, he sat us down and was just like, do you believe that I'm actually cheating on your mother? And I was just like, yes, I do think so. I've heard this woman's voice multiple times. Like, who is she? I was like about maybe 10 years old at this time when this happened. So I was pretty intelligent as a child. And I was just like, yeah, I believe the woman. I think that you are cheating on mommy with this woman. And he actually laughed. But anyway, long story short, my mother didn't try, like, when they got divorced and he decided to go be with the mistress, my mother did not intervene. She did not say to her, you know, be careful, he's going to try to beat you, he's going to cheat on. She did not get involved at all. She minded her business. And everything that he did to my mother, he did to that woman, okay? He beat her, he cheated on her, and that woman gave him a run for his money because she turned out to be just as evil as he was. Okay, but yeah, don't get involved. Just don't get involved, because people sometimes have to learn their lesson. Maybe you're intervening in someone's karma. Maybe you're intervening in a life lesson that that person has to learn. I feel as if, you know, I learned, you know, lessons too through my situations when it came to narcissists. So just know that you are going to have to put in work and put in energy in telling these individuals. I would probably keep it simple. If I was going to confront someone, I would probably say, be careful. Just remember, be careful. And that's it. I'm not going to give too much information, because words are very powerful, and those seeds will stick in those people's heads, and they'll be like, damn, they did warn me. Or maybe late at night when they're sleeping, or, you know, about to go to sleep, and they're thinking to themselves like, I wonder what she meant, or I wonder what he meant when he said be careful. You know, so sometimes you have to be able to strategically drop little hints to people, but be brief. Don't, you know, it doesn't always call for to be a man or a woman of many words. Sometimes small words, very minimal things said to people impact people. All right. That's about it. Hopefully this information was helpful to you. I know you're probably like, but she really didn't answer the question. I really did, because sometimes we have to make a decision on our own. There is no right or wrong answer to me when it comes to this. Just know that you're going to have to place your energy in it if you decide to say something. All right. I'll be making more videos soon. If you want me to continue making videos, please donate to my channel, and I will make videos more rapidly. Okay. Peace and blessings. God bless. Talk to you soon.